A movie relying on dreams almost as much as The Wizard of Oz, but it has more nudity and blow-up dolls. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen The Wizard of Oz, but I think that checks out. Jamie,
Yeah.
let's go watch Slumber Party Massacre 2. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Good Times, Great Movies. We're an 80s movie podcast, and every other week we watch a different movie from the 80s, and then we talk about it.
We do?
My name is Doug McCambridge. I'm one of your two hosts, and with me, eating a corn dog and drinking champagne,
That's
is
a
Jamie
slumber
Lorello.
party to me. How about those
you-
cheese whizzes? Remember those little cans of cheese
Sure.
whiz?
Yeah.
I haven't had one of those in a while.
I mean, these girls are all played by women in their mid-20s, and they certainly don't look like they're, 17, I think they're supposed to be?
Yeah, she was just turning 17. Birthday weekend. Big birthday
Right,
weekend.
yes.
Yeah.
But when they were sitting there and the one girl's like, I don't know, corn dogs with champagne, it's pretty great. That was the one moment in the movie I was like, yeah, that's something a 17-year-old would say.
Yeah,
Like,
agreed.
and I was kind of like, I'll bet a corn dog with champagne would be okay. Like,
You're
I'm more than
all of
happy
a
to
sudden you
try
had
that.
a craving. You had a craving.
Yeah. We'll get into what movie that is. I mean, you know, because the name's on the episode of the podcast. So you know what it is. But let's talk about a few things up front. Because last time we did a show, we had Stephanie Crawford on, which was wonderful. She's great.
So
Fantastic.
grateful to her. She's amazing. Yeah.
But I think I tend to get a little self-conscious when we have guests. So I didn't mention a few things that I probably should have.
Oh, you get
Because-
distracted. 'Cause
Right.
It's a guest, you know? It's like
Yes.
having someone over to the house.
It is, yeah. Do I want to plug my Patreon when someone's at my house? No.
Yeah.
Do I want to talk about a Dice K interview? Probably. If someone's at my house, I would talk about that for a very long
I
time.
would too. I have before. To strangers,
Okay.
actually. Yeah.
Right? Like, who was that? What was she talking about? That was really weird. Why was she washing her hair for a really long time during that conversation? So if you have no idea what we're talking about, we did a interview. We're interviewed by the wonderful Dice K Beppu,
Such an amazing human being. Top notch.
the most top-notch human being. And we don't give out that compliment a whole lot.
No, we don't. We think most human
Yeah,
beings are
right.
rotten. But not you, sweet Dice K.
No, not at all. So if you want to check out our interview, if you want to watch our interview, it's on his YouTube channel. Just check out Dice K Beppu. If you don't know how to spell that, I will put it in the show notes with a link. You can just link right to it. We put the audio of that on our Patreon, so you can also check it out there.
There you go.
If you want to pay us for audio and you don't get the video, go right ahead. If you want both of those things for free, go to his YouTube channel to check that out. It was a lot of fun.
It was.
And also, over on Patreon, is our episode on Evil Dead 2, which kicked off this entire month of horror sequels.
We kick it off with the patrons. So nice
Yeah.
of us.
And I also just uploaded the second installment of my horror Blu-ray coverage.
Oh.
All the horror movies we've done, the ones that I own on physical media, going through those, talking about those. So there's two parts of that up. There's this Dice K interview. There's Evil Dead 2. Over the past month, people on Patreon got 4 more episodes than the regular people.
What a delight for them.
I think I'm doing my math right there. 4 shouldn't be that tough to count too, but I think I got it right. Also, just very quickly, I was recently on a podcast. The podcast is called Fatal Femmes. I know I talked about this earlier because I didn't know when it was going to come out, but it did just come out. I am on to talk about the movie Suddenly Last Summer, which was a blast. So go there, check it out, listen to that episode, listen to all the other episodes, because I was on one about Whoopi Goldberg like a year and a half ago. So check that one out too.
Awesome. Nice.
It wasn't just about Whoopi Goldberg.
But that was your main focus.
That would be fun. Yeah. So that is it. And also, as usual, links to our Patreon, links to our merch can be found at our website, which is Good Times, Great Movies.
Yeah, it's a one-stop shop. And then you could kind of, once you're there, you could see all the places you could find us.
Because every now and then we do change the movie we're watching, but thankfully, when it comes to horror season, you probably don't have to change these.
We're pretty steady.
These are all over the place now. And if I find something that's an hour and 15 minutes on Amazon Prime, I'm like, Jamie, strap in. We're watching it. I can't carve out a whole hour and a half of my life, but I could do 1:15.
This was about an hour 24, I think. Hour 24.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
No, it's an hour 15. Oh. Did you watch some weird extended cut?
Maybe. I wouldn't think so. Maybe a little extra drilling on my end. I'm not sure.
Just for no reason, he's actually helping the construction of that home next door. And you're like, it seemed weird to me. It's nice to know they cut that scene. So we are talking about the 1987 movie Slumber Party Massacre 2.
That's a mouthful. Slumber Party Massacre. It's not just a slumber party. It's a massacre at the slumber party.
And it's the second.
Yeah, and it's this has happened before. And now, as is with, I'll walk us through this as best and delicately as I can. I do have some questions. You have seen it before, correct? You're familiar with this body of work?
Yes. Okay. Well, the entire body of work, yes. I've seen, before this viewing, I saw each one time.
Each. Okay.
So this is my second viewing of the second one.
Amazing. Okay. Now, with that, with these seconds that we've been having, and, sometimes you need to have some priviness to the first. Is that the case in this? Like, was there a driller killer in the first one as well, or is the driller killer unique to the second?
Nope, there is a driller killer in the first one, but it's much more, I don't want to say straightforward, but he does not have a guitar fashioned with the drill at the end.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
Right. He doesn't appear to be a figment of someone's imagination for the great majority of the movie. Like, it's just like an escaped mental patient who happened to get a drill.
Oh, that would have been a lot. Okay. And now,
Wait, hold on a second. Are you about to say that would have been a lot better than a guy who runs around with a motorcycle and dances and sings? Wait. Don't spoil
I
it.
have a certain setup for these horror movies, right? Because as we know, with this horror genre, I have come to really enjoy even these the killings, and I have thoughts.
All the drillings, it was just too much? You were like, the drill again, dude?
Well, that's the thing. There was not enough variety. And all of the major killing, as we'll discuss, doesn't really happen until the last 20 minutes. That's when the massacre really takes place. Before that...
It is the fastest massacre. It's like this guy's like, oh, finally, I'll just kill them.
Well,
like,
and midway through, like you said, he does a whole song and dance routine, which was... Yes, comical, but at the same time, I had myself set up now. We've had all these flashbacks. We've had all this trauma. The story leading up to the massacre, I was in.
Wow, really? Okay.
I was like, I want to go to the weekend desert condo with these girls and have a little. They had a band. The band was pretty decent, as you mentioned. The boys, TJ was a bit obnoxious, but we all know what obnoxious TJ, right? We all know that guy.
Wow, that guy was in a whole different movie. He lives in a different part of California than everyone else too.
Yes, but again, in a friend group, everyone knows the TJ, or even in an acquaintance group, there's always the TJ, the obnoxious idiot that exactly is like, did you move here from somewhere else? As we go through, I'll mention
That's fine. I understand now. Yeah, and I guess it's just I watched so much more horror than you have in my life.
Of course, yeah.
That I'm kind of versed in, okay, even if I don't know what it is, I'm like, okay, this could go down these 4 or 5 different avenues.
Sure.
So nothing tends to surprise me much anymore when it comes to horror. Mm-hmm. So I could see that based on, I don't know, a lot of the stuff that we've seen so far. Because even the funnier stuff, like even if we just talk about Hello, Mary Lou, our last episode, like there was enough fun to be had in there, but it wasn't so over the top and just winky. You get it? You laughing yet? You having a good time? Because we are. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Like
right.
being attacked by a chicken. Like a
Yep. Okay. How are these friends? Like, the biggest question I had through this whole movie, I'm like, how are these friends like still friends with her, or how at every turn isn't her friends always like, oh my God, I totally forgot that you saw all those people killed.
Yes.
And that you helped like kill them. Like, it just seems like they're like, hey, how's it going? What's going on? Like, there was no severe trauma in your life at all. Like, it was just really weird how they treated her.
Well, I think two of them, it seemed like, don't know. Like, two of the band members didn't know.
How could you not know? That's the other thing.
That's
it
what
is
I
a slumber
questioned, too.
party massacre that her sister was actively involved in.
Right. She has newspaper clippings.
Yes.
Like, it was recent.
It's not like this was prefaced with being like, well, after that, thankfully, we moved across the country. It's
Right.
like everybody in that town, first of all, would know. Everybody in the state would know. Like, that is girls drilled to death at a slumber party. Like, that's not something people forget about a year later.
No, but apparently the drummer and the lead singer, they didn't know. They were insensitive to it. In the first one, is it her sister so there are two sisters that make it out alive?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone else is killed. And she and her sister, like, she's being watched by some other girl. I think it was a while ago that I saw it. Eventually, she gets into the driller killer house with her sister, and her sister's protecting her. And she, like, watches her sister cut this dude's head off at the end of the movie.
Wow.
And it ends with, like, if I remember correctly, the actress who Crystal Bernard is now playing was much younger in that. And it was just a year ago. But it ends like with her just staring, like clearly traumatized at everything that's happening.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that directly leads into
Where we are now. Okay. Yeah, there are some flashbackies where, well, okay, let's get into it. So.
Yeah, okay. Oh, I just want to, I know off mic or before we started recording for non-patrons, we were talking about the director and writer. And I thought you would find this very interesting. Her name is Deborah Brock, and she didn't really direct a whole lot. This was like her big chance to make something, and she did, and it was a modest success-ish. And then I think she made another one or two movies. But she still works in the industry and is mainly a producer. And this just shows you, I guess, two ends of the spectrum of what she produced. She produced the sequel to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Honey, I Blew Up the Kid.
Okay.
And something that patrons may know that you're a big fan of, she produced Buffalo 66.
Really?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well,
so
look
she,
at that.
yeah, so she's done some really, let's say, interesting
Yes,
work throughout her career.
She's eclectic, I'd say. And she's, I'll call it well-rounded. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I also wrote down some information about our actresses, but we'll get there when we get there.
Ooh, I'm excited for your background
info. Some of them are
on.
fun. Some of them are more interesting than others, but yeah.
Okay. I'm excited I love when you do the research.
Listen, if it's an hour 15, I got another 15
You got
minutes
time.
to do
You
research.
got time. You sparkle it in there. And I myself and the audience appreciate it because most of the time we're like, can't even remember the actors' names.
Whatever, Bernard
We're like,
somebody.
what's his name? He was in a CSI episode. I don't know.
Probably. See, I don't know. Look it up. He's got a lot of credits. I couldn't cycle through. CSI was on for like 30 years. I'm not sure.
I will say, leading up to something that's called Slumber Party 2 Massacre, and I watched the previews, I thought it was going to be a lot more of the, like, sexy slasher TNA, and it's not. So that was a bit of comfort. I mean, there you had your pillow fight scene, but even that was so...
It's very weird because it was like, that's in there, but it comes so late in the movie, and also it's odd, like it's so bizarre looking, like it's shot in such a weird way. Like, how about just the shot where the background doesn't change, but it's just them like interchanged?
Oh,
like,
dancing!
they'll show one dancing, just like staring straight at me as the viewer, and I felt so uncomfortable. Like,
There was
as they're dancing awkwardly to not the music that's playing, none of the rhythm, none of the moves go together.
They did a lot of that. So in the dance party scene, I didn't mind it so much because actually that's what I appreciated about it was like the slumber party, even with the topless part of the slumber party, a lot of it felt like a lot of the beginning part of this movie felt real, for lack of it. Like it felt like
okay.
I truly I'd never been to a slumber party where we take off our shirts and fight each other with our bras, but at the same time, like getting silly drunk and laughing and the dance parties, and that really, it felt very real to like a girly slumber party. And
to 17-year-olds, maybe not 20.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, what creeped me out, the angle that they did when she first meets, or when her boyfriend Matty, what's the boy's convertible name?
Matt.
When he comes to talk to
guy,
yes,
right? Okay, yeah.
Yes. When he comes to talk to her, I think when he comes to awkwardly watch the band rehearse, and he's like the only guy there sitting right on the, like, so weird.
He almost pulls into that garage. His car is so close, and he's on the hood, just perched forward, like
just
3
like
inches from her
listening.
face, just being like, yep, I'm into this. Thanks for inviting me.
When they go over to the side yard to talk, and the camera angle's just on like him talking, I was like, is he the killer? He's gonna hurt her, I think.
It's so bizarre too, because then they practice, and like you said, they go, I don't know, on the other side of a fence to talk, and it looks like it's midnight.
Yes.
And then they walk out, and it's like, wait, it's 3 PM again.
Yeah. And the band still has to rehearse. He just came by to hear a song or two, and he's got to carry on.
Oh my God. Yeah. Listen, you already criticized the characters, kind of. I found them all somewhat likable. Like,
oh yeah, no.
With horror movies, there's always like jerks and like a group of people that don't seem like they should be hanging out. A group of people that don't seem like they would be friends in real life. All of these people seemed totally okay
like
with each other. Like
genuine friends, yeah.
Yeah, there's never really any conflict. They're happy to go check if she says a chicken attacked her, or the tub is filled with blood, or her friend's head exploded. I like how nobody checked that trash compactor for 3 hours.
Oh my God, why was it on for, how long has that been on? For like, I don't know, since like, what? And nobody thought to check it?
Oh, that's so great. And then she calls the cops later, and they're like, don't call again. I was like, don't call again.
I know. Those cops were the worst. And that one cop, when he was like, he like laid down the law. Wait, I wrote down what he said. We'll get there.
He was so angry. And then you have like permed mullet cop back there being like, come on, man, we got to get to Denny's.
Yeah, we got a table at Denny's. We got to run. And I like it that he answered the phone when they called the cops.
Yes, right. Yes. There's only 2 cops on the force. The neighborhood, nobody lives there. I love how they pulled in there like, hey, I guess nobody lives here. Later on, we find out someone lives there and loves classical music really loudly.
One guy who likes to put every light on in his house and play the music loud.
Yeah, and he opens the door in his robe and he goes, damn kids. And then on IMDb, he's credited as Mr. Damn Kids.
Oh, no, that's awesome. Because that's all he says. He's got one line.
All right, we're ruining the whole movie.
Oh yeah, we're just jump slide. Well, it's like we've got our guitar drill and we're just going right for the heart. We're not even trying.
We're not even trying to dance our way down the hallway first.
No, we're not. We're just filling the room with smoke and walking right in. So smoky when that guy's around. I don't even know.
Smoky. And the neon lights that come from nowhere. It's great.
So
although Matt's bedroom. All right, you know what? We'll get there. When she calls Matt and he looks he's got grow lights everywhere. I was like, where is this kid? Posters are hung on the wall sideways and oddly crooked and overlapping.
Hey, that's his decor. What about her bear lamp? How weird is that? You're 17, you have and it looks so flammable. Like it's like this stuffed bear.
It's just a stuffed animal with a lampshade on it.
It didn't look safe to me at all.
Oh my God. Oh, all right. Okay, let's get into it.
All right, I'm going to go through from our opening, which is just a sleepy girl with her soft pink bed sheets, just dreaming of a dreamy football player.
She dreams a lot, let's say.
Yeah.
I was shocked when I watched it this time because, again, I had seen it before. It was a while ago. But I was shocked at every turn. I'm like, she's dreaming again? She's fallen asleep again?
Yeah.
Another nightmare?
And I don't want to give too much away, but at the end, I'm like, now is this the dream? Are we still in the dream?
Boy, I think we could talk about what's going on there for an hour.
It's like the Russian doll thing, where it's like a doll inside a doll inside a doll. Right. It's like a dream inside a dream. So yeah, we get to see some sweet little bed sheets and some tossling and tumbling, and then she's just dreaming of this football player. This boy that's slow motion catching a football.
This boy that she's had lunch with a couple times?
Yeah.
I think when she says that to her friend, I'm like, you mean like at the school cafeteria?
That's what I'm thinking.
Not really
but
a
again,
date.
that's, to me, all of this beginning is very, real. It felt like, oh, yeah, that's how you...
Okay.
Some of it
it's
a bit...
cute and it's innocent. No,
Yes.
I get that. I just thought it was... I thought it was funny how their relationship went from 0 to 100 in a matter of 12
it went
hours.
from we eat lunch together maybe once or twice in the school cafeteria to come away for the weekend with me to the desert with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like how she guilts her mom into Mom,
that was a good trick
to get railed. Come on, Mom. I'm crying.
Yeah,
you forgot my
breaking
birthday.
dishes.
It's so great.
Yeah, and I don't want to go to a mental hospital for my birthday. That's a good one. If your sister's in a mental hospital and your mom wants you to go visit her, a reason not to go is because I don't want to be there for my birthday.
I know. Plus, it sounds like a bummer any other day.
It really does. Because she's having a dream about this football player, her dream suddenly becomes scary, and there's a scary hallway. There's blood. There's some screaming. Is any of this? I don't know if you remember the details of it, because some of it seems to be, if I remember, some of it's foretelling of what is going to happen. Screams of, but is any of it? What we're seeing from the first one?
A lot of it is just snippets from the original movie.
Okay.
If you see fog machines and electric lights, that's foreshadowing. Okay, but if it looks a bit more grimy, then that's the original
what we have. Okay, and that's because there is something with the little girl under the bed and watching stuff happen from under the bed, so that's probably the first one. Okay, so we get to know that, and so she wakes up from this nightmare, and she does wake up a lot from nightmares.
Right.
Happens a lot. And she's having breakfast with her mom. IDK dad, I guess in the first one, the driller killer got him. Do we know?
Don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember. I was wondering the same thing, because not so much at breakfast when apparently this girl, she looks like she's drinking Bloody Marys all the time. She's saying that. Even her friend out by the pool, her friend's like, just have some juice. I'm like, I think that's a Bloody Mary. You're telling her that she's hungover. I guess that's the cure.
Yeah, that's what they say.
But her mother's so fretting. Her mother's just in the background fretting,
yes.
all the time. And it's not till later when they eat dinner where I'm like, oh, there's only 2 seats at this table. What is the deal with this father?
There's some history there. We don't know what happened to Dad. I didn't know yet about the sister, because the mom is just saying over breakfast, I've been talking. Maybe you have some trauma to unpack and you should talk to someone. And she's like, no, it's just a bad dream. Why is there a half-eaten banana in the fruit bowl, Mom? That's what I want to get to the bottom of.
It's so bizarre.
Did you see it?
It's just yeah, I saw it. Okay. Yeah, of course. Sorry, I wasn't even talking about the banana. That's bizarre enough. But it's just bizarre how she's like, oh, your sister. Yeah, she's totally in a mental institution. How is this girl not in therapy for the rest of her life?
Yeah.
But she's just like, I don't need to talk to a doctor. I'm totally fine. It's just a dream, Mom. Don't worry. What do you think? You act like I watched a bunch of girls get murdered and my sister cut off a guy's head. Big dealsies. I don't care.
I'll just put on my headphones and read Vogue at night. It's fine.
That's how I deal with the trauma.
She's walking to school and she, like you said, she shuffles off her worried mom. And first indicator that this day is not going to go so swell is the dead bird. There's a dead bird that looks like it's been drilled through.
And why? And why is there a dead bird?
I don't know.
Is it foreshadowing to all the pillow feathers that flying out?
Yeah, but the massacre didn't happen. The killer didn't come then.
No, I know. It just seems like one of those things where it's like, I don't know, what's creepy? A dead bird? Sure. She dreamed about it. There it is.
Yes,
Let's
exactly.
Go.
I didn't know if that was a sign that he left behind again. I didn't know if that was something from the first one.
Again,
no. Okay, so
probably just a sad reminder of how many birds had to die to feather those pillows.
Oh, man. she's shaken a bit by that, but her sweet friend, who this is the sweetest friend that she's got. I mean, they're all, like you said, there's not really a bad personality amongst them. There's a slutty one, but everyone needs a slutty one.
Sure.
And she's TJ's girlfriend, so that's makes sense. But this friend is really the nicest, and they're the closest because this friend is the one that obviously knows, or at least paid attention to, the trauma that our friend Charlotte. No, what is her name? Courtney. There you go.
Yeah. So her friend, and I'll do this as we meet her friends. Her name is Kimberly MacArthur.
Okay.
She was a Playboy playmate in a little bit before this movie.
Okay.
And this is one of the only handful of non-Playboy credits to her name if you scroll through. But it's really interesting because then, of course, I went down this rabbit hole of they made a little documentary about this movie. And the writer-director was talking, and they were like, okay, we got Crystal Bernard. She was up and coming. And the original script had called for all four of them to take their tops off during this pillow fight.
Right.
And Crystal Bernard was like, no, I'm in a hit show. This is when she was in that, I wanted to call it It's a Living, but it's not called that. Do you know the show I'm talking about? It was like an office kind of comedy, and she was in it.
Yeah.
And it backed right up to Wings. Like the moment that was canceled, then she was in Wings. But anyway, they got her, and she's like, not getting naked. And they're like, okay. And they got this Playboy playmate, and she's like, I'll do it, but that part of my life's over. I'm not getting naked. And they were like,
yeah, because she wasn't topless either. Yeah.
And they were like, okay, we'll do 2 of the 4. And then the drummer girl, side pony, she signed on to do it, and then broke down and was so afraid to do it, and went to the director, and the director was like, can we at least put you in a bra? And she's like, okay, great, I'll do it, that's fine. So then it was just the lead singer was the only one to take her top off.
Because I wondered why out of the 4 of them at first and again, that's what made it real to me, was there's always the one girl that's a little drunker, a little crazier. Exactly. And the others are just like, I mean, I kind of figured too, as actresses, some of them just didn't want to do that. But it's interesting.
Did you know when she was humping that lamp? You were like, okay, I can see where this is going. Yeah. She's pole dancing on this lamp.
This is the one that was licking her lips like she had just eaten I don't know. Right. I was going to say a Jolly Rancher, but
Jolly Rancher gets all over your lips.
I don't know.
No, yeah, that was weird too, because I was like, aren't you in this room with your friends? What?
Yeah. What are you doing?
Looking at?
What are you doing?
You're looking at me, and this is making me very uncomfortable right now. Yeah. But I know you're not in this room alone.
But there was a lot of champagne, a lot of French champagne being drank.
There's so much. I think that's all the booze they have in this house. Because even later you see TJ opens the fridge and takes out a bottle of champagne.
Yeah. She opens, when they get to the house, she says, my dad has a liquor cabinet or something, like a liquor something. But you're right, then all that they drink after that is champagne.
Yeah. I guess that's all there is. I like how she keeps blaming everything on her brother. She's like, who cares? They'll think my brother did it.
Yeah,
I don't care.
My crazy brother.
My crazy brother that brings blow-up dolls.
What is with the blow-up doll?
I don't know. And TJ loves this thing. It's like his new BFF.
And I was hoping that when we first saw the blow-up doll, because we get the... we're a little ahead of ourselves, but who really cares?
It's fine, no.
When they get to the house and they first are examining all the rooms, and it does, I think they even make the comment, the drummer girl makes the comment, I know why you want us here, to help your dad unpack, because they've just moved in.
Oh, yeah.
It's enough to have bedrooms and couches set up, but not much else. And terrible artwork, of course. But there's a blow-up doll in one of the beds, covered up and laying there. I was hoping somehow that would be a part of the driller killer.
Me too. I mean, he's constantly drilling through things into people or through people into things. I was like, when is that blow-up doll going to come back? And he drills it through the mouth, into TJ's crotch or something.
Yes, exactly.
It's right there. You're setting it up. Why aren't you using it later?
Why aren't you using it? You're just not. All right. Well, I'm glad we feel the same way about the blow-up doll.
But I like how her friend picks her up, and her friend's like, what were you looking at out there? And she goes, a dead bird. And her friend's like, yikes, you are so weird. I was like, okay. But then they just smile at each other and laugh. And then
they have their little dance party in the car.
God, this song, the fact that anybody would go, I love this song. is insane on its own, and they're singing along.
Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Tokyo Convertible?
No. Have you?
No.
Oh, okay, all right. Because it's a real song. Like, it's a legitimate song that somebody made, and I couldn't even believe it. The fact that they're singing, I want to be your Tokyo Convertible.
Yeah.
And one of the lines is like, I just love going through the motions. Like, what does that mean? What does that mean?
What is a Tokyo Convertible?
I don't know.
Is that some kind of slang for, like, I don't know, like toss the lady salad or something, like the Tokyo Convertible? I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. Is it filthy? Is it about licking anuses? Because I don't want to be saying it if it is.
Oh, man, she gave me a Tokyo Convertible. It was so scary. I don't know. It's just a random mishmash of words put together to a generic beat. I'm just like, this can't be a real song. And I looked at them and I'm like, somebody wrote this? There's a full version of this song out there. And that's every song in this movie. And I could not have been more shocked and also pleasantly surprised by that.
Well, again, when they are rocking out, as ridiculous as the song is, felt very true. That's what, again, you're in the car with your friend, and she's even looking in the mirror when she does it, and looks like she's trying to do moves that are maybe in the Tokyo Convertible video. I don't know.
I want to see that video. Like, there's so much ass licking in this video. Like, how'd this get by the censors? Are they putting this on MTV? I mean, they're blurring stuff out, but you know what's happening. Oh, man.
So it should be Slumber Massacre, Slumber Party Massacre 2, the Tokyo Convertible. Oh, it changes things. Okay. So after their little song and dance in the car, who pulls up behind them when she just stops in the middle of the road? I don't see a stop sign or anything.
Like, either go around or come pull up next to us.
Like, we're just dancing. We're just singing at the corner. That's all. You can go
she
around
did
us.
stop. Her turn signal's on. She just stops and starts waving the car around her. Like, what are you doing? You're going left. Like, what do you think is going to happen here?
But it's the boy we've been dreaming about. It's that sweet boy. He's in a convertible. Is he?
I don't
in
think
a
he
Tokyo?
is. He is in a convertible?
Yeah, he is driving a convertible. Yeah.
Not to get back to Hello Mary Lou, but I wanted to drive away, and his fanny plate just says Tokyo. But again, like, we talked about how these two are just, that's it. You know, we just met, we just talked to each other for probably the first time, and now we're suddenly exclusive. She doesn't even want to roll down the window and talk to this guy. Like, she's embarrassed.
Shy.
Like,
she's shy. And again, relatable. When you see the boy you like, you're feeling a little like, I don't know what to say. And the best friend swoops right in and she's like, hey, we have band practice. You should come. It's a lot of fun. And he's like, all right, maybe I'll be there. Well, he sure shows up. The only one to show up. I like when they ask who wants after or mid-practice, and she's like, oh, does anybody want a drink? And you forget they're 17. And they're not that crazy, even though they have their French champagne night. Mm-hmm. And the one's like, yeah, do you have a Sprite? Do you have a sparkling water?
No, it's Slice.
Oh, Slice.
Slice. It was very much,
right.
I was like, Slice. Mm-hmm. Do they even make that? I don't think they do. Yeah, that is the drummer. She's so into Slice. And the lead singer's like, Perrier for me. I'm sorry.
I'm a slut. I like my Perrier.
It's really nice that these girls are so encouraging for their friend, too.
Yes.
Because I kind of thought this hunky dude showed up to watch these ladies sing a song. I'll bet that slutty lead singer. And it's bad, like, we don't really know anything about her. But immediately I was like, oh, that girl's the slut. I was like, she's going to make moves on this guy.
That's what I thought, because she's like, what's he doing here?
Yeah. And they're practically applauding when he drives away. They're so excited for her.
Yeah,
so,
it's very sweet.
Yeah, it really is sweet. Yeah.
And I like it, too. It's innocent because they say, the drummer girl says, ooh, I know what she's getting for her birthday. And she doesn't say getting laid. She says she's going to have a boyfriend.
A boyfriend, yes.
Yes.
It's so cute. Like, it really is. Like, these girls really went in and said, okay, I am playing a teenager. I'm really going to try and remember what it was like and do the best job I can with
and
that.
You feel that. You definitely feel that. I was on for that ride.
Okay. No, and she invites him. She's like, hey, listen, my band, we're going to a condo.
Yeah.
Someone's dad has a condo and
in the desert somewhere.
yeah. And why don't you come out there? Like, it's totally cool. We're going to go out there. We're going to practice, and it's just going to be a nice vacation. And he's like, maybe I'll come. He's playing everything cool, but just like their practice, shows up immediately.
Yeah, he's there on the Saturday. They get there Friday night. He's there.
Like,
not a problem.
Stop playing it cool, guy. Like, you know, just be enthused. Just be as outwardly enthused as you are inwardly about all of this. A guy who looks like he could have any woman he wants. He's like, oh my God, I hope Christopher noticed me out.
It's her overalls and her braid that do it to me. We had mentioned when she gets to, because her mom, who's a nervous Nellie, she has a lonely, sad looking, looks literally like they're eating mounds of poop or dog food for dinner.
It looks like
so sad.
It looks like wet dog food. It looked disgusting, like the kind with like cube chunks in it.
Yeah,
or something.
where it's like meat. We're supposed to believe it's meat for the dog, but it doesn't look. Yeah.
And what I really liked about it is they showed this disgusting food. They showed her kind of like picking at it, and then we see a long shot of them talking, and then it cuts to them cleaning up dishes. Their plates are clean. They ate all that garbage, whatever
Somebody
it was.
had to plow it in. There's no pet dog there.
Right. I thought the joke was going to be like her dumping it down the drain or something. No, she loved it.
Yeah. She's got to eat something, right? To have all those nightmares later. She does convince the mom. She drops a dish. She's a little just cryy, sad. She does convince the mom. Well, the mom wants her to. They're supposed to take a trip this weekend to the sister.
Yeah, the mother's like despondent. Like the mother's not.
She's gone through her own trauma.
Yeah, she has no emotion, and I do like how she's like, "Your sister's finally talking," and I was like, "Oh my God, okay, there's some real serious trauma here."
Yeah, that we barely touch on. I wanted to visit the sister more. I wanted more. I mean, we get little visits from her, I assume, but yeah.
I did look up this mom too. Not that she's great in this movie, but she looked so familiar. She plays Winona Ryder's mom in Heathers. That's probably where I know her from.
That's the familiarity.
The rest of her filmography, I was like, I don't know, these TV shows maybe, but that's kind of where I remember her.
That's where it hit home for you.
From.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, she convinces her mom to let her go for her weekend with her friends, even though the mom's a little, it's really, like you said, she kind of hits it home to her when she says, but it's my birthday, blah, blah, blah.
The, like, cherry on top, the icing on the cake is when Crystal Bernard says something like, the only thing that might not be great is her parents are really strict.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, good one.
That was a good one. Yeah,
so perfect.
Because she's like, the mom's like, I don't even know her parents. And she's like, oh, they're great, except they're very strict.
Just very strict.
I was like, oh, I wish I would have. That's a good one. That is.
Yeah. I was like, you can easily take advantage of your traumatized mother. Go for it, Crystal Bernard.
You know what to lay down there for her.
Go for it, Courtney. You deserve it after what you've been through.
We talked about the conversation she has she has a little phone call time with her boyfriend. He's in an awkward room and she's with a flammable lamp next to her, very flammable teddy bear lamp. I love it though. Reminds me again, it's an 80s movie, and a lot of this movie from the fashion, I mean, obviously we're watching 80s movies and the fashion is 80s, but this movie especially, she wears those overalls at one point that are kind of cinchy above the hip, and she does the French braid with the bangs, and we talked about the fringe shirt later, and this too, when she's on the phone, but I thought her mom picks up, but I think her mom just yells, are you still on the phone? You have class tomorrow. And she's great. She doesn't, my mom. She says, I really got to go. And he's great too. Not a problem.
He's totally cool. He's in a room that looks like Freddy Krueger's about to jump out of that closet and murder this kid.
I kept thinking he was the killer because they played him like he was creepy. Yeah.
That awkward conversation they had, and now you see him in this like murderer dungeon.
Yes, murderer dungeon.
Because we don't see Crazy Lights until the driller killer guy shows up.
Right.
But the fact that they introduced this insane type of lighting, just magenta lights slapping this kid around in this room, it's so bizarre and it's unlike anything you see. But I never got the sense that they were even trying to create like a red herring. I never once thought that this kid was a murderer. And I probably really didn't think about it the first time, but this time it just struck me as odd the way they're framing him.
Yeah. They Yeah, but he does turn out to be very, very
But
sweet.
are we supposed to think that maybe? Because were we
Maybe.
supposed to think that when our friends were like, hey, we're all going to go out to town, like, that's cool. And he's like, maybe we should just stay here alone. Were we supposed to be afraid for her safety at that time? Because I wasn't.
When they go out to dinner or whatever, because they
Yeah.
get something to eat.
I just thought this guy was just like a nice
Super
dude.
nice. That's what I thought too. Super nice. Super sweet. That's what.
Okay.
That's how I took it.
But this is when she has, I think she has 2 dreams back to back, like back to back dream sequences.
Oh, she does.
After a phone call?
Part of it's a road trip. And the bloody hand, right?
This is also when we finally meet this evil guy.
Oh,
like
yeah. This rock and roller.
and-
Andrew Dice
Yeah.
Clay.
Right. It's like a very thin Andrew Dice Clay. When he even says, he's like, Courtney, don't go all the way. And I was like, whoa, okay. I guess I know what we're setting up here. Does she have sex and then has to be instantly killed? But the actor, first of all, the actor, I did not write his name down. I wish I did. It's like a crazy first name, and he wasn't in that many movies, but his father is a guy who started Little Caesars Pizza.
Oh.
And he owned like the Detroit Tigers and the Detroit Red Wings. Like this guy comes from so much money. It's insane.
Oh, well then no wonder they were like, just make him be the crazy killer guy.
This is like one of 3 movies he made in his entire life.
And I could see where his dad's just rich and they're like, oh yeah, oh my son can sing and dance and sure, horror films are great. Oh, a slumber party murder? Yeah. You know?
Right.
She also dreams of her sister. So she has the first is the bloody dream with her friends, and we do see the killer guy. But then we also see her sister in like a hospital bed, I guess, like in an insane asylum, it looks like. And
yeah, we're meant to believe it's some sort of asylum. Yeah.
She just keeps saying, don't go all the way. Don't go all the way.
But also, like, how real is any of this? I have so many questions at the end of this movie that I don't know what's real. I don't know what we're watching. Like, what's real, what isn't real.
Oh, yeah? Does she even have a sister?
Yeah. Well, okay, I wasn't going to go that far with it. Is she even Courtney? Crystal Bernard was not in the first movie.
Maybe she's shut up. Is she the killer, maybe? I don't know. Maybe she's the one with the drill and the guitar. She's the guitar player in the band.
Right. How was that not one of the fake out endings where she was just like standing there in a
With the
garage
guitar,
and her dead
yeah.
friends all over the place with that guitar? Like, if you're going to throw 3 fake endings at us, make another one. Make a 4th
Get
one.
crazy
Do
with it. Yeah, that would have been good.
That would have been so awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We have so many great
Now I really
alternatives
regret
for
they
this
didn't
movie.
do that.
Man. All right.
Well, I think it's clear to say, or important to say, she's one of the 2 guitar players in this band.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, let me go through the other cast members.
Oh, yeah.
here
Well,
real
we're
quick.
ready for it because now we're getting ready for the road trip, right? So we're in the car. It's 4 girls.
Yes. So Sheila is the lead singer of this band.
The slut.
Yes. She's played by Juliette Cummins, and not a whole lot of credits to her name. And this is kind of the end of her acting career.
Interesting.
So she had done stuff before this, but maybe this was like her way down as Crystal Bernard was being rocketed to fame. And very last person we have is Sally on the drums.
It's your
My personal
You loving
favorite.
this Sally time. Yeah.
Played by Heidi Kozak. And she has the second most credits behind Crystal Bernard.
Oh.
Yeah, and she was just in a bunch of stuff, but I thought it was funny. She was a regular in one season of Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
Well, look at that's respectable.
Yeah,
You would-
and she's still acting today.
Well, good for her.
Yeah, and she was the one person in the little documentary I saw. She was the one person from the film that was in the film there talking about it.
Oh.
Nobody else. Like, they had the writer, director, and producer,
But
and
none
stuff,
of the
but she
other
was the only
actors?
actor. No, nobody else, just her.
No.
She was the one that told the story about how she didn't want to take her top off and started crying to the director.
We mentioned these dreams she has. She literally even has them while they're driving. Like they're driving and she's just zoning out to like the road, and the scenery, and she has a bloody bubble bath vision. and they're in some store parking lot. It looks like a grocery, like some parking lot, and that's when Sally is like, what's wrong with you? Because she's screaming because she sees her sister coming at her.
Yeah, they just leave she and the drummer in the car. Like, they don't even crack the windows like they're dogs.
No.
The two of them get out to do some shopping and leave them in there alone.
Yeah.
And also, how's she sleeping in this car? Sally's behind her, hitting her
with the
headrest
drumsticks.
with drumsticks the whole time.
Yeah, the other one's chewing gum like an obnoxious. And they do mention they're talking about going to college and going far away to college. And which the slutty ones? You're so much better with these names. The slutty one says,
Sheila?
In the back seat, well, where did your sister go to college?
Yes.
And
so
that's when you
must
realize,
be,
not everybody knows what's going on.
Yeah. But not like, where did your sister go to college after she murdered that man? Like, nothing. It's like, did these two just move into the neighborhood a few months ago?
I guess, or they were
it's
oblivious.
Not a big deal to them?
I guess.
Because even later on when the hunky guy's like, yeah, so you and your sister, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, you heard about that? I'm like, who hasn't heard about this?
No, and the hunky guy was like, yeah, my family is really good friends with the family that got murdered or whatever. Like,
right, yeah.
So it's like...
I'm like, even if you're not, you go to the same school with these girls who were involved in a multi-murder. Yeah. Like, everyone should know about this, Crystal Bernard. A massacre, if you will. Like, Crystal Bernard, don't be so shocked people know what happened. That's big news. Oh. So she's having a bunch of like scary dreams and all that. Mm-hmm. When she's in the car and the girl's going to the grocery store, somebody like mushes their face up against the window. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, this is like a jump scare. And it's just like an old bag lady. And she starts yelling her sister's name. I'm like, that looked like a 58-year-old woman.
Yeah, what are you doing? Nope. But she's having these visions. And like you said, her friends are very kind because they're never like, you're fucking crazy. Stop. They're like, what'd you see? What's the problem?
So
Where's
nice.
the blood? Oh my God. The chicken probably did jump at you. It's fine. What about when she's eating the sandwich and there's a bloody hand and she's like, something's wrong with my burger, and they're like, well, here's a chicken sub. It's fine.
Yeah, have a chicken sub. You did put a lot of ketchup on it. Yeah. It's okay. You're fine. Oh, Sally's head did explode? All right, maybe that did happen. We'll just sit here. You want to call the police? We're totally fine with that.
We're a little hungry though, so we're gonna go something to eat.
Oh, you're really stressed out? Go take a bath. How does that, like, at every turn, they're just constantly trying to comfort her.
I love it. For the longest time, they're just like, you're really hungover. That's all.
Yes, you're hungover. I like it when the other guitarist is like, yeah, I've been feeling a bit off today, too. Like,
well, I like
she just said a chicken jumped out and attacked her.
The drummer is always relating with I know, I'm feeling off too. Have you seen my face? Look at these pimples all over my face. I could totally
she's like, there's a pimple under here. Next time we see her, she's got oxy all over her face. I was like, I thought you said it was one.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love the drummer. I could talk about her forever. I like how the drummer is using this vacation as an excuse to get shit done.
Yeah.
Like, everybody else there is with a guy and she's like, I am going to write that goddamn
This is where I'm going to do it because she knows it's in her. She knows. She's like, I got limited time. We're going to be at the desert. God. This is my time to do it. Wear my cute swimsuit, drum out in my top, and there you go.
Yeah. So much fun. She also, the drummer, is like reading a sex book that she found under her brother's bed. Which also comes back, but for no reason. Like,
yeah, it makes the rounds to the couple, to TJ and the slutty friend. But
when TJ's reading her, TJ, who can barely read, like,
he's the worst actor. He is the worst actor ever. What accent is he doing, or is he from Canada? I don't know.
It's like it felt very Bill and Ted to me. Like, it felt like he should be hanging out with those guys, but also I was like, nobody's talking like this. No one's acting like this. The fact that he tries to read lines from this book, and I'm just like, you're stumbling over every word.
What about when he awkwardly tries to push her in the pool and he does like...
It's so bizarre. He even starts just like ramming her butt with his crotch for a minute. And even her friends are like, TJ, that might be a bit much.
Yeah.
You're going
And then
a little...
he throws her in and just looks at her, and the other guy jumps in for her.
And she sinks like a stone. And he constantly... She's basically brought back from the brink of death, and he's still laughing and making jokes.
Yeah. His timing is off.
I know. Yeah. I know he's the TJ of the group, but he's a little too TJ.
Yeah, I like I said, everyone knows that jerk, and he is the elevated version of the jerk. We talked about, so they arrive, they're there after all these many road trip nightmares. They do get to the house.
Road Trip Nightmare. That's a great movie title.
We talked about the inflatable doll.
Yes.
As we said, we wish that had more of a character arc to it, but whatever.
Yeah.
It does not.
100%.
The dance party, they have an all girls like fun little drunken. They have a little picnic they set up of snacks and corn dogs and champagne, and
it is so cute and it's so nice. And then we see these two doofy boys show up. TJ, I don't even know what the blonde guy.
The nice guy, he's very nice too. Yeah,
sure. He's extremely bland and uninteresting, but he's nice. These guys show up, and I'm like, these girls just wanted, because they show up early.
Yeah, they even say, he's like, why should we be here early? And TJ's like, I'm telling you, they want us here. I can't even do
They won't mind at all. And I'm like, these girls just want to dance around and maybe practice.
Yeah.
Like, maybe they want a day to practice. That was, yes. Yeah, and these two doofs ruin it all. Yeah, by like bumbling in the back door, and then they jump out and scare them, and but this is...
What's their weird handshake? Did you catch that? Because they bumble in and scare them, and they're like, smoke on, smoke them. I don't even know.
I don't know what that means, but they do give an awkward, like, high five handshake when they say it.
But we don't see it again. We don't see them do it like...
I don't. There's so much weird ad-libbing going on, too, because I like how the one girl who takes her top off, later she sits down to put her bra back on, and the drummer's like, you're so crazy. You're a chicken, because she has feathers all over her.
Oh, yeah.
And she takes her boobs and just like presses them together. It's like, bark, 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 bark. And the girl is like legitimately laughing. Like she was not supposed to do that in the scene.
That's what's so fun is in this little slumber party scene, they truly seem like a bunch of drunk girls being silly. You're not even offended by, I don't know, I wasn't looking at it to get turned on. It's not even that sexy because it's just these girls like...
Yeah,
really laughing and having fun, and even when she does hump the lamp, it's not sexy at all.
No, because she's licking her lips and just like staring down the camera. Like it's so weirdly shot, but also really funny. Also, they're making a mess. Like I don't.
Oh yeah, there's feathers everywhere.
Yeah, this guy there's champagne all over the furniture.
Oh yeah, because they just decide to spray it on each other like they just finished like they just got the last scoring touchdown of the World Series.
The Super Bowl.
I don't know.
You scored the last super dunk of the World Series. So, there's choreographed dancing. How about when they're all standing in line,
when they
like,
do the
doing the locomotion or whatever?
Quite
it is
the dance
so great.
Party.
And I really wanted to know because then this is when the lead singer takes her top off.
Yeah.
She mutters something to herself like she's a monster. And I wish I didn't pay attention to it, but she just goes like, and then takes her shirt off. And I was like, what is happening in this movie right now?
This is the slumber party part, right? And this is it doesn't go much further than this, unfortunately. I thought this is where the action was going to happen. Even when the boys came, I'm like, oh, they're going to stumble upon the killer. No, we're still...
No, we have a whole day.
Yeah,
we have a whole day ahead
We have
of
a whole
us.
another 40 minutes before we even see more killing, right? Besides the dream, the hallucinations that she has.
No, definitely. Yeah.
So yeah, they sneak in, they do their weird high five ends. I love it. So clearly the slutty girl and TJ are kind of an item, and they are going at it.
When you say clearly, that was not made clear in this movie. It took me forever to figure out the couple situation in here because, like you say, we hear the slutty lead singer having sex with somebody. We don't hear who it is. And the next day, she walks down to the pool with the blonde guy, and I was like, oh, because the other idiot has to walk out with a blow-up doll. So it's like, okay, so it took me forever to understand the coupling situation here. That was not made clear to me. I know that he jumps on her and tackles her before they do the weird little high five.
Yeah.
Because then later when she walked down to the pool with the blonde guy, I'm like, is he cool with TJ tackling his girlfriend like that? Like, yeah. So I really was unsure what was happening.
Well, somebody's having loud sex.
Yeah, and we do see a bit of a love connection. I think we're supposed to be, led to believe that there might be one between her friend, the other guitarist,
Oh, the really
and
nice
the blonde guy.
girl, yeah.
When there's a montage for no reason when they're washing the car.
Oh, what is that? What is that?
And that should not have... It should not. That's the laziest definition of a montage.
That was like an outtake.
They're playing a song. It's like a music video. Most of it is them playing this in the living room, and then we see the blow up doll in the pool and two of them washing a car, and that's it.
This is just how they spent the afternoon before practice, I guess. I don't know.
I guess. I don't know.
While Courtney was having more nightmares. I don't know.
But again, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Sorry, because after Courtney stays up listening to her bandmate have sex.
Well, I like it
when they're finally done. Oh yeah, go ahead.
When they're finally done, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, finally Courtney falls asleep.
Oh well, and then you hear them go. She goes, "You're fantastic," and he goes, "I know."
And that's when you knew it was TJ.
Yeah, exactly. That's when I was like, "That shithead." So yes. Then there's. Courtney does fall asleep, which means she's going to have a nightmare, right?
Of course.
She doesn't sleep without him. And this time she rolls over and it's Matt, her boyfriend's in bed with her. But then it's not him. It's the Andrew Dice Clay leather guy.
Mm-hmm. Did you think she was going to be making out with Matt and then wake up and it was her friend? Because I did, because she's sharing a bed with her friend.
Yeah, when she goes to sleep, she's with her friend. Right, and now she's all grabbing on somebody next to her, and she went to sleep, and it was, no.
Yeah.
No, she wakes up. So she has this terrible dream, and this scary guy is telling her, he literally is everywhere, and he's like, I'm in you, I am you, we are you. Again, that's why I thought, well, maybe she is the killer and she didn't even know.
Right.
But she doesn't wake up kissing her friend. She wakes up on the floor in the kitchen.
On the kitchen. She's on the kitchen floor, just curled up in a ball. And she seems like so exasperated when she wakes up. She's like, ugh.
It's like she knows. It's like, oh, shit, another kitchen dream. You know, like if you wake up and pissed your bed and you're like, oh, no, I got so drunk I pissed my bed again. Oh, no, I woke up in the kitchen. But this is when she tells her one friend, the nice one, they're hanging out next to the pool, and she's like, I've been having some really fucked up dreams, and I don't even know. And her friend's like, yeah, when I drink a lot, that happens. Oh, no, her friend says, I read a doctor report once.
So I'm like, when you were like at the doctor, you read through the charts or something? Or like, where did you see this?
I read a doctor report once. It's called subconscious projection. It can happen if you drink a lot.
That's just the line. She's like, how do I get her to shut up about these dreams? I have to listen to them every day when I drive her to school. I got to make up something that sounds real. I'll just say I found it in the doctor's report.
Yeah, I read a doctor's report.
She's not going to check.
But she does. She tries to comfort her and is like, just have some juice. And now it's a pool day, right? We're all going to hang out at the pool.
Yep. Hanging out at the pool with the blow-up doll. Because TJ and this blow-up doll are joined at the hip. He's so sticking his fingers in its mouth.
Ew, he's doing it. And then he's putting the mouth on the other girl's toe.
Yes.
Weird.
It's so bizarre.
Weird.
And like we said, Crystal Bernard says, I have a headache. And he's like, oh, you have a headache. I can help you with that.
Yeah.
And he like picks her up, and it's like he's trying to give her the Heimlich by the pool. Like, he like grabs her hips and is like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, he moves her around all weird. He says something about, he pretends to do like an exorcism almost on her for like a minute. And then he just throws her in the pool. And they're all like, what did you do that for?
Yeah. TJ, what are you doing?
And then she, like you said, she sinks like a rock to the bottom till the one kid goes out and gets her.
Right.
I think even while she's floating to the bottom, again, anytime the girl closes her eyes, she has some sort of nightmare. She takes a long blink and she's like, oh my God, the drill guy.
She should just sleep with those like Clockwork Orange things on her eyes. She'll be fine then. It's okay. Because you're right. All she did was fall in the water and she's having another dream. It's really crazy. But now she's kind of had enough. Like, TJ is a bit much for everyone at this point.
Yes.
So she goes inside and Side Pony's there to just like talk about pimples and make her feel better.
Is this when she's writing her song, or no, she's just talking about her pimples?
No, this is when she's just talking to her about her pimples and everything like that. Yeah. But she's in a bathing suit too, and she's like, yeah, do whatever you want. I gotta go. It's a pool party. And eventually she just leaves. And now we cut to who knows how much time's gone by, because that doof TJ and the lead singer are out by the pool seemingly alone, and he's reading to her from this sex book.
Oh, yeah. This is
to
weird.
Get her in the mood, because he'll read a line and be like, are you ready? And she's like, not quite yet.
No, what
Keep
about
going, TJ?
And when she is ready, she does that weird licky lips thing that is not at all sexy.
No. And I was like, are you two now going to have sex outside by this pool where your friends could wander onto you at any moment?
They don't care.
I guess they don't care, but it's a little much. But we don't know what happens, because now we're back outside, and this is when Crystal Bernard's eating her hand sandwich.
And she's all ready to dig into this giant.
It's floppy. It's like rubber hand. It's so funny looking, slathered in blood. The amount of blood / ketchup she has on her hands, like it's down her arms. And the one guy's like, yeah, it's a lot of ketchup.
But I like it, like, right away. Yeah, the guy, he makes some joke, like, oh, it's just good old kangaroo meat. And he's like, well, you did put a lot of ketchup on it. And then, like, right away, the nice friend is like, but we have this chicken salad wrap for you, too. Just in case.
They're so accommodating. Could you imagine how much this crew would be cutting loose if Crystal Bernard wasn't there to bring them down?
But they got
it
exactly. They're always like, oh, what's the problem now? What's happening now? And this is when she goes in the fridge to get something, and like a raw chicken comes out, and it's just
before that, this is when we get our second musical number, because this
is this when the boys are watching them rehearse?
Yes. Yeah. The boys are sitting on beanbag chairs, I think, in the middle of this room.
And just laying right in front of them. Not even in the middle of the room. They're right in front of the girls rehearsing. And then they start dancing to it, too. TJ gets down.
TJ's totally into it. He saw this movie as his time to shine.
Yep.
He's like, I'm putting on this accent. I'm going to pretend I don't know how to read, and I'm dancing every chance I get. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. This is, and again, like we said, it's the most lazy montage ever.
Yes.
Blow-up dolls washing a station wagon.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, he reads the book. The chicken leaps out at her, and she screams. You got to see she always brings someone to what her, except when she's dreaming. But if something happens to her, you got to come see when the bath.
Every time it's a different person.
You got to come see, right. You got to come see the chicken. That's the most believable
thing, because if it's the same person each time, they've had enough. But the fact that at least she bothers someone new each time, they're all talking. Like when she goes up for Beth, they're like, can you even believe her?
Yeah.
Like she thought a chicken attacked her? I can't believe it. Like, have you ever seen anybody fall in a pool and just sink down at the bottom? Not even try to get...
somebody says that, too. They're like, you think she banged her head a little hard when she fell?
Yes. Yeah, you may have hit your head when you fell in the pool. No. She fell in the middle of the pool.
Yeah, there was nothing to bang it on. She just closed her eyes too long. But they keep, again, even after this chicken thing, they keep saying, you're just very hungover. This is just, you're hungover. This is now when she has the drummer is writing songs.
Oh, her song.
Go ahead, tell us.
Pie in the Sky.
Pie in the Sky.
Pie in the Sky. These lyrics are, I want a silver caddy with the Landau top. I want a sugar daddy with a candy shop. I want a lot of things that money can't buy.
Can't buy.
But what I want most is a pie in the sky. And then she repeats that like 3 more times. She's so proud of herself. She's smiling, just like nodding as she writes this.
Smothered in zit cream.
Right. It's so much fun to just see her. Like everybody else is paired up. Crystal Bernard is being, threatened constantly. And she's just on the couch in the living room just writing this song that's going to make her famous.
And she's feeling it. Like you said, as she writes these lyrics to this goofy Pie in the Sky song, she is singing It's from the Heart. She
Oh, but
tells her
this is
friend go take a
yeah.
bath.
She tells her to take a bath.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, I didn't feel good either. You should take a bath. It's great." And of course, like you see enough horror movies, you know what's going to happen. Either blood's going to come out of the shower, or it's going to come out of the faucet, or maybe even the sink. Not sure. I really appreciate the fact that she jumps out of the tub that's filled with blood, runs out, and just like closes the door, and the blood's like
comes
flying out of the bottom of this door, just drenching everything.
It's a lot of blood. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Does she see her sister at all? I think
Earlier when she thought she was making out with the hunk,
but not in the bathtub. She doesn't see.
No. But the greaser does allude to the fact that he killed her sister at one point. He's just like, "Oh yeah, your sister. I was done with her.
Oh
now all I
yeah,
want
you're
is
right.
you."
You're right. Now I'm on to you. That's right. He does say that. So the bathtub fills with blood. The whole bathroom fills with blood, and
It's really funny.
she runs downstairs and tells her
She
friend.
gets Sally.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She's like, "Come on, is something wrong with the bathtub?" And again, they're like, "Well, let me see." And she's
Yeah.
overflowing the bathtub, and the friend is like, "What the fuck, you idiot! Like, you gotta turn
Sally's
off the water."
reaction was so great when she walks up. She's like, "What did you do? What are you doing?" And I like how Crystal Bernard's like, "Well, when I tried to turn it off, it didn't turn off because of the..." And then she just breaks down crying.
She is starting to seem. I mean, again, she's
right.
having all these moments, and she's becoming unhinged, right? So the more she's having these freak out moments, even though her friends are trying to convince her it's just a hangover, you're okay, they're setting her into this like she's coming unhinged. So yeah, this is when she's like, I tried to turn it off and it didn't. Ah! And again, her friends are so nice. It's okay.
Yeah, she's so nice because, I mean, it really is just Sally being like, yeah, that's fine. How about this pimple I got? It looks pretty bad, huh?
She does tell her, "Are you on drugs or something? What's going on?" But then, yeah, she relates it back to her pimple. "I know what you mean because I have this pimple. Look at it." And this is when she sees the pimple on her. This is when her face goes wonky wild. Like her pimple explodes and her whole face.
In a movie where basically a rubber chicken attacks her, I was like, "Oh, this is actually good makeup for just one scene in this."
So far, this is the other, like, besides the nightmare stuff and the chicken, this is the next scary thing to have happen.
Right? Yes. But so her
hand sandwich,
head basically explodes.
Mm-hmm.
And of course now, like, she's running and screaming all the time in this movie now.
Yes.
And she runs and screams, and she gets the boys to come into the bathroom, and she's like,
"Well, now her
dead."
boyfriend's there. Her boyfriend is there now.
Oh, yes. Yeah, he did show up.
Yeah.
Yes. All three of the guys walk into the bathroom, and this is where the doof is just like, "What are we doing, bros? Like, I can't believe her. She's so crazy." And every time this guy delivered a line, I was like, did the director ever go like, "Why don't we take two on this?" I don't think so. I think it was just whatever. You're good. Go.
Yeah. Just get it. Just spit it out. Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is when they have a great conversation in the kitchen. Did you love the look of this house? Like, I loved I don't know what it was. I think it was just how there wasn't furniture in there yet, so it was very airy and open.
Yeah.
It reminded me of what's her name? The Incredible Shrinking Woman's kitchen.
Oh yeah.
Like the walls were pink and the curtains were yellow, and then there were
bright
blue accents on the drawers and stuff. Like, I don't know, it looked like so much fun. I don't know why I really loved this place, but I totally did.
You did. You wanted to be part of the massacre there. If there
Yeah,
was gonna be
I
there.
really
You're like,
did.
I'll move into this little neighborhood. It's brand new buildings. Yeah.
Nobody's here. I don't know why these places aren't selling. Maybe it's because people are constantly being murdered in them. Like, how would they sell this murder house after this?
Don't mind the champagne stains downstairs. That's nothing.
Yes.
Champagne doesn't stain, I don't think.
The house smells like blood and old champagne.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. So Sally's missing. Everybody realizes Sally's missing.
Boys are starting to think that maybe, Courtney's really gone crazy, but not her boyfriend. Her boyfriend is now there, and he's very much like, "No, I don't think you're crazy. I don't think you're lying.
Right.
I think that you're seeing stuff, and I think you've been traumatized, whatever."
He's also trying to get laid. Let's
Right.
just keep that in mind.
But
Let's
still,
no, I know.
He's going about it the non-sleazy way, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And yeah,
He's not sitting on the kitchen sink going, she probably just went into town. Like, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
but all the cars are still here, right? Because
Maybe she walked. Oh, it doesn't matter.
maybe she took the golf cart. We don't know. She is gone, though, with her little songbook. And so that is a bit alarming, right? Because there was just this pimple face popping, and the trash compactor is on.
It is crunching like there are some bones in that thing.
Yeah, something. And I think even the nice guy says, I don't know, bones. I like it too. The slutty girl says a line right now because she is heightened. Our friend Courtney has heightened up this group a bit because of all of her screaming and all of her nightmares.
And plus, I think now that the drummer's not there, like they're legitimately concerned now.
And the slutty girl says maybe there is like a killer or somebody that we need to be aware of, and she says, anybody got any tranks?
Yep, anybody got any tranks?
We're looking for that to calm us
down. And scene.
And there we have
Let's call the cops.
Now the cops are here. And the cops are they're
insane. Like we talked about this scene earlier. This one cop is so angry.
Oh, he doesn't want to be here. He doesn't want to be here.
Unjustifiably angry.
Well, because I'll tell you why. Because they do the whole job at their local police station. He's answering the phone for 911 calls. He's going out to the calls. That's why he's so angry. They're overworked.
It would have been great if he turned around and looked at Wavy Mullet and was like, Tony, you're here. Who's answering the phones? I know we don't get many calls, but you didn't need to follow me over here. But this is really funny, too, because they're like, okay, so you think your dead friend might be in the trash compactor, but you haven't checked it. When was this? 3 hours ago. I was like, what?
Yeah.
You've been sitting in that house. And also, did it take these cops 3 hours to get here? Because that's terrible police work.
It's awful. And this town's not that big if all they have to do is this development.
No, and you wonder why people want to defund the police. It's for activity like this.
This is a great example right here.
Right, yes. It doesn't get much better either, because Sally just saunters in the middle of this. She just opens up the door and walks in.
Yeah.
Like, hey guys, I was just in town. I was just
I
doing
wanted
some
to
stuff.
to get more Zit cream. Yeah.
And these cops start blaming her. Like, this is her fault at all. And I was like, Sally just went into town. Like, she's not the one that called you. She's not as crazy as these other people.
Well,
like, why are you yelling at her?
And then the fight of the mean cop looks at them and says, if you jerk my chain in my town, I'll rip your lungs out. Now he's going to become the killer. And that's when the other guy's like, Denny's is waiting. We got to go in.
Denny's is waiting. We got a table. Oh, my God. It's so great. Wonderful.
Yeah, that's all we see of these
both
cops.
of these cops, so many credits to their name. Like, an insane amount. The wavy hair guy, still in things now. He was in every TV show you could imagine. And the cop who's yelling at them the whole time, he was, and you might not remember it because it was a really short moment in the film. He was in Commando. Remember that guy who was selling cars and then they ran him over with one of the cars at the very beginning of Commando?
Yeah.
That was him. He was the car salesman.
Oh, yeah.
So her friends go out for dinner and Matt is just like, hey, why don't you just stay here with me? We'll take it easy. We'll stay in. I don't think you should go out to eat, I guess. I don't know.
He's like, I don't think we should leave. She might start seeing things while we're out. Very embarrassing to do this kind of thing in public.
But he does make her like an adorable little dinner on a tray.
Yeah, he makes her birthday cake.
You see it on the bed. Yeah, he brings in a birthday cake and she's like, you remembered it's my birthday. And
it's very sweet. Yeah, he brings her this candlelit birthday cake and he's like, blow out the candle. She's like, I just want to look at it. It's so pretty. I'm like,
it's like, I don't know. I got it at that grocery store. You guys probably stopped at coming in. Like, it doesn't even have your name on it. It just says happy birthday.
Right, let's just blow out the candles. I want some cake.
Right. I didn't bring this up there for you to stare at it.
Right. Come on. But yeah, this is when he tells her that he knows about the family that was murdered. Like, so he knows, he's got some background too. And has a lot of sympathy for her feeling a bit out of sorts. The gang comes back and they're loud and rambunctious downstairs. They must have went out for drinks, not just dinner, because they are
I
singing.
love the fact that
and
at this moment in the movie, they're finally like, okay, we're not going to play a real song here. Let's just have these actors really play these instruments, because that drummer sounds like garbage. Like it is. She does not know what she's doing. And they're singing, they're dancing, they're having so much fun. I don't know how they got loaded at a restaurant. Maybe they were able to be served. I'm not sure. But they seem to be having the time of their lives.
yeah,
downstairs.
they come back as some silly ass gooses. In the meantime,
Ooh.
there's some serious making out happening upstairs. And of course, you close your eyes when you make out, don't you? You have to,
Sure.
or you're a weirdo.
Yep.
And when you close your eyes and you're Courtney,
Just stare into each other's eyes. Oh, that's great. Yeah, so this dude, like, he's on the bed, like, lying on his side, shirt open, and suddenly, like, out of nowhere, I did not expect this, a drill bursts
yeah,
through his chest.
Yeah.
And it's kind of super gross and a great effect, too. Like, they built that cool torso. It didn't look fake. His head looked like it was attached to it.
yeah, there goes that moment.
Yeah.
And she's not having it. She's trying to take control. She screams, "You're a dream. You're a dream. You're not real." This is when he takes the bloody arm of the boyfriend, which does not look real at all.
No, it's hanging on by meat strings or
Yeah.
whatever's happening here.
He throws, I think
He's
he
like,
throws it at her.
Does this look fake to you?
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, it does.
It looks real fake.
It looks super fake.
Yeah. It's extremely fake. Yeah. And then
somehow she gets past him. I don't know how, he's in front of the door, but she gets past him and runs downstairs.
yes. And now she's really got blood on her.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is when the movie completely changes from something that had been going on in her mind to suddenly this leather-clad dude with a guitar with a drill on the end comes down, and her friends are like, "Back off, man." And I was like, wait.
TJ takes him on. He says, "Back off, punk." They're ready. They're ready.
Tries to hit him with a lamp.
I'd like to point out, this is the last 24 minutes, maybe, of the movie.
24 minutes. I think you are being generous there. I'm going to say this is the last 15 minutes of this movie.
Yeah, so all this mayhem, murder, massacre shit doesn't happen till the very... Yeah. They all kind of go into an attack mode, a scare mode. TJ goes to attack, right? And he must get attacked real quickly.
Yeah.
It must
Why
happen.
is his leg so bloody?
Yeah, I don't know.
We don't see any drilling of the leg, but the next time we see him, his pants are covered in blood and he's limping. He
And
can
the
barely
slutty
move.
girl's just carrying him everywhere. I do
Yes.
like when they knock on the one guy's door and he doesn't answer, and now the killer is right there, and she literally tries to like pick him up and carry him, and it's
And
awful.
finally, she's like, "I'm out of here."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. She's
sorry.
like, "I gotta go."
Sorry, TJ. You're on your own, but that's TJ.
Yeah. Hey.
You knew he would be.
The only one left now, because they all scatter, knowing that this is a real killer and the shit just got real, is your friend, your drummer
Yeah.
friend. And it's really unfortunate. It's because she's behind her drum kit that she
can't
can't get out.
She's trapped in the corner. But somehow she does manage to get out enough to almost get in the kitchen, because
Yeah.
they all run into this fabulous kitchen. And I love how the one guy's like, "I'll use the phone to call the police."
Oh, yes.
We see the drill getting closer to Sally, the drummer, and then we're back in the kitchen. We hear her scream, and the drill comes through the wall, right through the
Yeah.
phone that they're trying to use, and it's all bloody and gross. And that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sad that Sally was the first to get it, but also they all get it within 5 minutes of
Yeah,
one
it
another,
doesn't
so it
take
doesn't
long.
really matter.
And it's all pretty much the same. It's all the drill right through the middle. That's all he does. He's got one move, this drill guy.
Yeah,
And he
you
does
do
it,
drill
I
to the
wish-
back, drill to the front, but that's about
Drill
it.
through the eye, I wanted to see.
Yeah, nothing.
And I want to see, like, he does that little goofy song and dance, but it would have been even more hokey and fun if he had a little song and dance before each. Some kind of move that he
Oh
did.
my God, that would
Some
be
kind
so
of one
great.
line move, like a, twist and a turn and a hey ha hoo. Now you get you.
I would
But-
kind of love it if he did have individual songs.
Yes,
for
for
each
each
and every
one. How fun. Now you're
That
the
would be a
real
lot of
driller
fun.
killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that didn't happen. He just goes in.
Now, something you don't see in these movies a lot is the heroes of the film, the teenagers, actually make it into a car and start driving away.
Oh, yes.
That's the crazy trope with these horror movies. It's like nobody ever gets away in a car. Like nobody ever makes it to the car.
Little tricky. They almost don't. They almost forget their keys. So
Right.
they get outside and they're like, whew, we're outside. Okay, let's drive away. Oh, shit. We have to go back in and get the keys.
I have such a question about this key retrieval.
Yeah.
Can you explain to me, because they're like the keys are in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I like how he has little chattering teeth.
Yeah,
on
those
his,
are fun.
Keychain.
Yeah.
So they open the back door to get into the kitchen. The keys are right there. He reaches up and grabs them. Why do they sneak
still
through
gotta
the
go
entirety
through.
of the house and they go out the front door?
I don't know. And
It's
they
like, what are you
check
doing?
for they check for
Yes.
what's her name? Even though the drill with the blood came, like it's clear she was killed. But he calls her name.
Yes. And then her body like slumps down.
Yes. And then like you said, they could have just left through, they crawl through the whole house.
They crawl
They go
through the whole
into
house.
the
as though
house. Now-
that's the best way to get away. If he jumped out, well, I'm on my hands and knees. I'm in the best position.
And now, like you said, we're a success. We're in the car. We're gonna get away. But again, rule number 1: when you're running away from a killer and you get in the car, check the back seat. Nobody checks the back seat.
Especially if there's 3 of you.
Yes.
You don't all need to pile into the front.
No.
I found that hilariously convenient how the screenwriters were like, wait a second, hold on. There's 3 of them, and he's going to be in the back seat. Well, we can't have somebody open the back seat.
No.
I guess they'll all sit in the
Well,
front
and
together.
I could see for, nervous sake, let's stick together, everyone just pile in. But nobody looked behind and said, oh, guys.
Right.
Because he's kind of obvious. He's in that leather outfit. He's got the giant guitar drill.
I don't even know how he was hiding. I have no idea how he was hiding. And how he gets the maneuver and the movement to shove the
And does the
entire
guitar
through
grow
the
after
seat.
each killing? Because it looks like it's obnoxiously large after each, as the killings
You know what?
go on.
I didn't notice. I wouldn't doubt it. That sounds like something goofy that they would do. I love the guitar because it's one of those like double neck guitars.
Yeah, it's fancy.
But like one's a drill, but it also has like these curved pieces coming out. It's crazy large and super obnoxious.
Yeah.
But there are 3 of them. It's Crystal Bernard, it's the blonde guy, and it is her really good friend, the other guitarist.
The really nice one, right.
Yes. And the reason is, like you said, TJ's been wounded somehow, and the lead singer, they're limping along to the neighbor's house, the neighbor that loves classical music at the highest of volumes. Doesn't answer the door, but that's where they are, and they're driving for a minute. I love how the killer pops his head up from the back seat, and he's got like a little rose in his, behind his ear. I don't know why that's there. It wasn't there before. It's hilarious. And he murders this guy. He drills him right through the back.
Right through the seat. Yep.
Yeah.
And now the girls do get away. They run out of the car. They run back to the house because they figure they're, I guess, safe there. And they call the cops. They're hysterical crying now. She even can't fully make the call. She's like she's like, hello, this is, And they're like, the cops are not taking her seriously. They're like, you're the wacko we just saw. Listen.
Yeah.
I think they tell her, stop calling us. Because when she hangs up, she's like, well, we can't call them again.
It's so good. Because you literally hear the guy say, don't call again.
Yeah.
And that would have been a funny way to end the scene. But like you said, she hangs up, looks at her friend, and goes, we can't call them anymore. And it's like, wow, this is weird. But I like also how they barricade themselves in this bedroom.
Oh, yes.
And Crystal Bernard's friend, because, in a weird way, Crystal Bernard / Courtney, sorry, I haven't used her character name in a while. She's, oddly enough, through all of her dreams, she's kind of dealing with this better than anybody else.
Yeah, she kind of, it's almost like when she's worried about the situation, she's more stressed about it. But when she's in the situation, it's like her response system just activates and she knows how to handle it. Yeah, because she's actually calming her one friend down. She's like, it's okay, it's just going to be a lot of blood. It's fine.
I just love how she's like, we'll just stay in here until the sun comes up and then we'll leave. And I'm like, this is a guy that you seemingly dreamed into existence. I don't know if he's going to go away when the sun comes up.
And the cops are not going to be there for you. No. And now they do have a second car. I don't know why they're not using the other chick's car to drive away.
And also, her friend that she's with That's her car.
Yeah.
Like, she has to have the keys or at least know where they are.
Yeah, so they had to know that, but they didn't. So they stayed. They're locked out in this room. Like we said, the slutty girl has left TJ to. Oh, he gets murdered outside the house.
He gets murdered
and is,
right by that guy's garage.
Which is great because when that guy finally does go out the next morning and sees the bloody guy, because that's what's going to happen. You know, the guy. There'll be a next morning for him. Anyway.
Someone in this movie gets it next morning, and it's him.
But the slutty girl, she has got an arm injury. Somehow she took a little drill into the arm.
Yeah, not sure.
So she, very bloodily, because she's going up the stairs and she's blood staining the stairs. And she knows the girls are in there, but they almost let her in. But then they hear that the killer's there too. They're like, oh, no.
Oh, it's great. Too. It's amazing. I love it because she's beating on this door forever. Yeah. And they're just in there like cowering, like, oh, I'm not going to open that door. Yeah. And finally she yells something like, why didn't you yell something from the start?
I know.
They could have let you in. And I know we talked about it very briefly, but I think we're glossing over the big part of this is that she runs in and this driller killer chases her in and allows her to run upstairs, addresses us, the viewers, and says something like, now it's time to have some fun. And it's an entire music video. He is using every prop. He's using the drums. Yep. He's using their guitar. Yep. He's like worming his way across the floor. He's breakdancing at one point.
Oh, he's got a whole dance.
Smoke machines, like you said, fog everywhere, neon lights. It is wild.
Did you write down the lyrics to his song?
No, I didn't. I was too shocked. Like, I was too surprised. Same
here.
I
was like, what is happening? What is going on? And this is, like you said, this is supposed to be like a funny little twist on the. This is really the funny part. And at this point, I'm like, what is happening? Yeah.
He basically like serenades this poor girl that he's going to kill. He's like dancing. He's up in that hallway, just he and her. Like, he's on the walls and he's like rolling around the whole time. Like, and she's just cowering by this door
where her friends are. Yeah, and they won't let her in.
They start unbarricading the door like one piece of paper at a time. Like, oh, we'll get this eventually. But she is finally murdered.
This is what he says. What did he say? Doesn't he say, I can't get no satisfaction before he does?
Of course he does.
So he makes some terrible joke.
Right.
Yeah.
So he bursts his way into the room, and then these two girls, they escape out the window. They run across roofs and stuff like that. And then they go to a house that is under construction, a house that's being built. This is probably the dumbest part of the movie because for whatever reason, he's chasing them and he's slashing at them. He does cut the one girl's back up.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty bad. But she just falls, like, off the building.
This is
she
weird.
Just, tumbles off awkwardly. Her stunt double.
I don't even know how she gets up there, first of all. They're hiding for a while. This is weird. So he sings again to them when he's looking for them in this house that's being built. And they are kind of hiding, but the girl has a big old thing on her back, so she's dripping blood, and he's like, the blood's like dripping on his cheek, like they're right above him. And then, I don't know, he sings and is ready to kill them again. I don't even know how she gets to this like window opening, whatever it is. And she slips at first because she's holding on to Courtney.
Yes. But it's like an awkward falling. Like, it's almost like she crawls herself out this window. And then, like you said, she's hanging on. Courtney's holding on to her. Like, don't worry, I won't let you go. And then he kind of jumps for her. And she's like, whoops, sorry. And just lets her go.
And then she's... done.
And she's totally Splatsville.
Yeah.
She's the only one, like, not drill killed. It's very uninteresting how she dies. And for a character that is her good friend, like, that should have been a more interesting death for that poor character.
I agree.
For a movie that's so short, I felt like the end of this just took forever. Like, them running around this building under construction. Because she even stops and he starts talking to her and he'll sing to her sometimes. Anyway, long story short, she finds a blowtorch and he even like eggs her on. He's like, come on, baby, light my fire. And she's like, all right, you got it. And Crystal Bernard gives this expression of an insane person. Something that I would not think
laugh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I always think of Crystal Bernard as not sassy. She's not one of the designing women. Like spunky. Like I would call her spunky.
Yeah.
But she looks insane
she
in
looks
this moment when
deranged.
she lights him on fire. The fire effects are goofy and stupid, but also kind of fun. He falls off the building and he's totally dead.
We think. And
then we get 3 endings to this movie, and I kind of liked each and every one of these.
You got to sort them through. Right? So supposedly she has blown him up. She has blowtorched him up or whatever. And it's early morning now. The cops have come, and I think what you hear somebody say, how many bodies were there, right?
It's probably those 2 cops. Like, I don't, maybe we should have looked around. I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know. There's a couple. There's one guy that's got a dead guy in front of his garage.
I would have liked it if you overheard one of the cops just in the background being like, did anyone check the trash compactor?
Yeah. They bring out her friend, her good
covered
friend
in a
there.
sheet.
Covered,
yep.
right. And for some reason, she wants to see her face, and she's touching her face. The face, then the girl comes alive and starts laughing like the killer.
Oh my God! Every time this guy laughed, did you want him to say "wipe out" after he laughed?
Wipe out. I did exactly. That was exactly the laugh.
That's exactly what he sounded like every single time.
I completely agree. Yes.
Yeah. So she laughs like the killer. End of that ending. She wakes up. She's back in this condo.
Yeah.
In bed with her killer hunk. Not her killer hunk.
No, her
hunk, you know.
Yeah.
He's a pretty hunky dude. Maybe a killer hunk. You don't know.
Yeah.
It was all just a dream. I guess they did have sex after they ate some cake. She starts making out with him, and kind of just like before in her dream, now it's the greaser guy. I love how he's just like kind of dirty. He's like kind of dusty.
Yeah.
Like he was burned, but they're like, I don't know, let's just smear dust on him or something. Yeah, we have some charcoal. We'll just lightly rub charcoal on you. That looks like you were burned by a torch, right? And that's the second ending because now we have our third ending where she is the one in the asylum.
Yes.
She wakes up in a room that doesn't even look like a room. Like there's angles. It's all kind of
it's in a
creepy
weird
and cool
space,
looking.
Yeah.
It's like German expressionism. And a drill like comes up through the floor.
Yes.
And that's our real ending? Question mark? I have no idea.
I don't know either.
It's the last ending they could give us before they just cut to some song, probably about a Tokyo convertible.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We don't know. And that was it. That was Slumber Party 2.
I feel like I always ask you how you feel about these movies, and I'm very interested in what you have to say. So let me go first.
Please.
Because I remember watching this movie a while ago, and I chose it for this because I remember the movie being pretty fun. I was like, it's kind of fun. It's kind of light. It goes down smooth, at least from what I remember. I watched this again. I love it so much more than I did the first time. I really did. Like, the fact that this movie leaned into it so hard at times and was like, fuck it, I don't know, it's a musical now. I don't know what we're doing. Like, who cares? Like, there is something that was so much fun about that because there's only so many things horror movies can do. And if you're not legitimately trying to scare me, you have to do something.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about before. Like, you need to have interesting kills. This didn't have that.
No.
You need to have like an interesting killer. This really didn't have that either. So the fact that they were like, we're just going to pull out all the stops and make this a full-fledged musical where she's being attacked by a chicken and she's eating a hand sandwich. Like, I had so much fun watching this. And I have a feeling you're probably going to disagree, but this movie was so much fun. I had a ball.
I love that. I love when you do exactly what you did, when you've had like a faint memory of a movie, and then this brings it back. And I see why. I do see why. I didn't hate it. I see why you would enjoy it. I think my issue with it was it being our. If we didn't watch it for our October horror month, I think I would have liked it more. Because it didn't fit the bill of the horror movies that I've liked. It didn't have the interesting kill. It didn't have the killer, wasn't really the killer. I did like, I liked the story leading up until we got to the killer part, which was goofy for its own right, but I just wasn't into that aspect of it,
Yeah.
I guess. I liked the slumber party. I like their adventure. I thought, like I said, there was some reality to the way it was done and the performances and the relationships and the friendships.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I liked this like weekend away with them. I even liked if it would have just been like she's got this crazy sister and she has the dreams. For me, when all of the weird stuff like killings and the singing started to happen, I was like, "Oh, what are you doing? Come on." But I see how it could also be enjoyable. I think my expectations for it were different, and that's what I guess sometimes taints the opinion.
I do like what you liked about this because I could see these girls like going to school with Helen Hunt and Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yes.
I could see them like showing up at this slumber party
Yes.
and just being in this movie and it suddenly not being a horror movie. It's just
Right.
a fun like girls' weekend. And I also like the fact that you wanted it to be something where there's a lot of murder, but when it happened, you were like, I don't know. I was totally into this other movie. Like, too little,
just
too
it,
late.
yes.
Sorry. Like,
Exactly,
this is-
exactly. I was like, no, I want to have, and I'll even take that one of the friends has a little mental problem and has nightmares. But I don't want now there to be some lunatic
Yeah.
driller killer out.
No,
That's-
I get it, and I feel like we've been like on the same page for a while, other than probably our Star Trek.
Oh
movie.
yes, yes.
I feel like we've either been like these are all terrible or this is really okay. So I kind of like it when we come down differently.
It's not a
on
bad
movie,
thing.
So
It's not a bad
super
thing.
fun.
Yeah.
What's your recommendation then?
All right. So similarly,
Mm-hmm.
a movie where the killing is what it is. It happens, but it's the story.
Is what it is.
that-
Killing happens, guys. Get used to it.
I mean, it's a murder, and it was definitely salacious and definitely had some details to it. But it's the story leading up to the murder that gives it more. If you've ever watched the Amanda Knox Netflix documentary, that chick that went to Italy and got accused of killing her.
Are you
roommate?
talking about Foxy Noxy? Is that who you're referring
Yes, yes, yes. So similarly, the horror story leading up to like that she was this foreign exchange student in Italy and had this thing with her roommate and who did the killing. Like the killing itself was just like somebody came in and murdered her friend and there was blood and wrong blame.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Netflix documentary, I think it's from 2016, is
Okay.
is very good. And Amanda Knox is a free woman now because she didn't do it, but the Italian government is crazy. I'm sure they probably sang to her once or twice. There's no musicals in it. But yeah, it reminded me of this movie.
But you're sure they sang to her? You're like, it's Italy. Of course that's going to happen. I mean, how do you... How are you on trial that long without somebody singing to you? I don't see how that's even possible.
But the story, again, just like this, where the story is more
Right.
the juice of the matter and the killing is just meh.
Okay, so I had a movie picked out. After I finished watching this, I
Okay.
had something picked out.
Came
for my
right to the mind.
recommendations.
Came right to the mind.
Came right to the... Well, not really, because this is when I was doing so much research on the characters.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw that TJ was in a movie the very next year that I actually really like,
Oh.
but I'm not going to recommend that.
Don't do it.
Because I started thinking about why I like this movie.
Uh-huh.
And it's because it's a movie that is like so genuinely bad. I found it so entertaining.
Okay.
So I'm going to recommend a movie. And I know that sometimes I use my recommendations to recommend actual legitimate great movie. I'm going to do something different here. I'm going
Do
to
it.
recommend the greatest bad movie I've ever seen in my
The
life.
greatest bad movie. All right.
It was made the same year as this movie.
87.
And it is called Miami Connection.
Oh. Is it drug related?
Yeah, it kind of is in the weirdest way. First of
Okay.
all, movie takes place in Orlando. Very specific that it takes place in Orlando. Why it's called Miami Connection, never made clear.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
It's
It's another Florida place.
And it's also, I think it has more to do with the band aspect because it's a movie made by a guy named Y.K. Kim. And he can barely speak English. You can't understand what he's saying most of the time.
Oh, jeez.
He is a guy, he's like a martial arts guy, but the movie's about a band, a group of guys who are in a band. They're all from all over the globe. They're all from different regions of the world. They live in a house together. For some reason, they're all orphans.
Oh.
They are also martial artists, but they do sing in a band. The bad fake instrument playing in this movie is phenomenal, like top notch. And
Terrible.
for some
Top-notch,
reason,
terrible.
for some reason they get involved in with a gang of ninjas that are also drug lords. It is so amazing.
Okay.
Like, if you like The Room or you like Birdemic, because it has this genuine sense of this guy being like, I'm going to make a movie and it's going to be great.
Okay.
And it fails at every turn. If you go on Amazon Prime, you can just watch the movie. So if you can appreciate a bad movie, watch it. But there's a Riff Tracks version where the guys who did Mystery Science Theater talk over it. Mm-hmm. So if you need help watching it to see why it's so great, watch that.
Okay.
Because they'll make all the jokes for you. But it's so amazing. And I find myself a lot of times just flipping through being like, I don't know what to watch. I'll watch Miami Connection.
All
again.
right. That just puts a little warm spot in your heart.
It's truly terrible. Anyone who likes bad movies, this is one you have to see.
All right.
So.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening. This was a long one.
Yeah, well, there was some details to get into,
This is our first episode that is almost a half hour longer than the movie that we watched.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, no, wait, it's almost 45 minutes longer. So I think we should wrap this up. In 2 weeks, Jamie, not only am I excited about the movie we're watching, I am so excited to be done with our summer of sequels.
Oh, we're over the sequels. Come on.
This is it.
Yeah.
We got one more.
Did it. We did it, though. Kudos to us. Last one.
And if you're upset that maybe this movie wasn't as scary as you thought it might be, or didn't promise to deliver, we're gonna watch a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, and listen, he's slicing people up, he's in your dreams, he's gonna kill people immediately. I don't even think the credits start and he's murdering people.
Death,
so
right.
you know what you're in store for. You're not gonna be let down. It does put a twist on the idea, because we have seen 2 movies back to back where there's a final girl or a hero girl. This movie was made famous, or rather infamous, because it basically makes a final boy, and there is so much gay innuendo and gay subtext to this movie that it's absolutely crazy. I didn't see it when I was a kid. I didn't understand. I was like, this is just scary. There's an S&M club. His gym teacher has all his clothes torn off, and he's whipped in a shower.
Well, don't give too much away. I hadn't seen it.
Anyway, I should not say any more.
No.
You got to watch it. You might like it. I'm not even sure. But it's a Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Coming at you.
Freddy's Revenge. So we will watch that in 2 weeks' time.
Last of the sequels.
The last of the sequels.
Good riddance. Well, not really. It's been an adventure.
Yeah. It's not like we'll never watch another sequel.
No. They're out there. We're here. So we're bound to meet up again.
They are out there. I mean, there is a Slumber Party Massacre 3, but I think it was 1990. So, we're safe from that one.
Us. All right.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. We'll touch again in 2 weeks. Until then, have a great 2 weeks.
Goodbye.
I want to be a convertible. Be a convertible, ride around with the top down beneath the round, round sky. Yeah. I wanna live in Tokyo. I wanna I just love going through the motion. I wanna be your Tokyo convertible. I wanna have fun with you.
God, anybody got any tranks?
Now, is this supposed to be a funny horror movie?
I hope so. If it's not supposed to be funny, they were way off.
Okay.